Welcome students, welcome parents. We are at back to school night here online, and you are here to learn about my bridge classroom. So I'm excited to be able to talk to you about that. So my goal for bridge, and by the way, bridge is a mix of math and language arts, and my goal for bridge is for students to be able to make clear arguments that support logical conclusions. And so not only is the class a bridge between math and language arts, but it's a bridge to high school. It's about making those strong arguments that will help your students be a strong high school student and college student eventually as well. On top of that, I have a credential in mathematics, and I am committed to teaching your students a reliable structure for learning math. A lot of the core of mathematics and at the K through 12 level, or the 9 through 12 level, the high school level, really starts at the grade 7 and 8 level. And so I'm committed to teaching them a structure where they can succeed. You can see pictures of my family here. I'll talk about them in a second. I want to say that this is my 8th year at Pinkerton, 8th year teaching bridge. Before that, I was an urban planner, and I have a degree from Columbia in urban planning. But I had kids, and my interest changed, and that's kind of why I became a teacher, really, is because I became interested in youth development. You'll see that my older son, Simon, is on the left here, and he's a sophomore physics major at UC Santa Barbara. And in the picture, I'm out backpacking with him and a couple of his buddies. My younger son, Gus, is on the right, and Gus doesn't have a major because he's only in high school, and he's a sophomore at West Campus High School, which is in Sacramento, where I live, just north of Elk Grove, obviously. And you can see my wife, Annie, here. And Annie is a nurse midwife at Kaiser South Sacramento. There's some chance that one of you met her as a newborn, because she's delivered thousands of babies in our region here. Okay, my contact information. You'll see it right there. And I will get a hold of you within 24 hours if you contact me via Synergy. And for students, though, you have access a different way. You can get a hold of me right after class. And in fact, we have an after-class portion of our bell schedule that's just for getting your questions answered. So please use that. Please also use Synergy to get a hold of me. You can also try to reach me through the private comment section, within Google Classroom, but that's less reliable. It's really, if you have something important, it's better to try to get a hold of me through Synergy or talk to me after class. For parents, that good initial point of contact is again at the email you see right there. But I'm happy to work with you, to work more in depth with you through a Zoom or a call to get your questions addressed if I can. There's going to be a question and answer session on September 10th from 6 to 7. You can see the Zoom meeting ID right there and the password. And that is really for general questions about bridge class. If you have individual student concerns, you can email me at the Synergy address, and we'll schedule a more private Zoom on that. Okay. I assign work every day, except for Friday sometimes, and I am really committed to, as I said earlier, to teaching your students a structure where they have the kind of discipline and the tools to be successful in high school. And you'll see the daily work in the classwork tab in Google Classroom, and how turning in work happens in my class is mostly through taking a photograph of a template. This is especially true for the math portion of Bridge, and students are going to be required to write down their objectives, their key ideas, some problems I'm going to work through with them, and then some problems they do on their own, usually just 3 or 4 total, actually. So that they can expect to get their work done pretty much within the class period, with maybe a little bit of homework on top of that. Then they're going to take a picture, load it up to Google Classroom, and we're going to be good. Sometimes also, or instead of that process, we'll be doing work on outside online platforms like IXL and Desmos. But what I'm really emphasizing here is old school paper and pencil mathematics and really working through problems in a systematic way. Okay. engagement, here you'll see my dog Cato. He's a very engaged kind of fellow. And in my classroom, I strive for high levels of engagement. I don't want your students hiding behind Zoom, and they can expect to be asked to participate through the chat function, through breakout rooms, through full class questions and answers, and also in the context of some projects for Bridge class that I've developed over the years to help with everything from scatter plots to character trait analysis. And these projects are really there to help students engage with the content, learn how to apply their work in somewhat of a real life context. And I'm going to go back to the top here to help them make logical arguments and conclusions. And in making those logical arguments and conclusions, I'm hoping that they're more prepared for high school and more engaged students right now during middle school. So that's what I have to say. And please come to my Q&A Zoom. And if you're a student, I'm delighted to get to work with you. And if you're a parent, I'm delighted to get to work with your child here this year. Have a good evening.